Hey guys, welcome to 7th grade lesson 32. Let's start off with number 1. Number 1 says Mr. Moody creates a math test, questions 5 days in a week. He works X hours every day except Friday when he works 2.5 hours. If he works 22.5 hours per week, what is the value of X? Okay, so he creates math questions 5 days in a week. 5 days in a week. And he works X hours every day, except Friday when he works 2.5 hours. So, you don't need to know. So this math questions, when he creates it, that is what it means when it says he works. So he works 5 days in a week. So now we know that it is 5 days in a week, and if we subtract Friday, then you would have 4 days in a week, right? Because if you're trying to find the value of X, we already have Friday, so Friday is 2.5 hours, but we need to find the value of X because X is the hours every day he works except Friday. So it's 4X because there's 5 days in the week that he works in, which I'm assuming is going to be Monday through Friday, but either way it doesn't matter because if you take out Friday, then it becomes 4. So 4x plus 2.5 equals 22.5. Now where did this 2.5 come from? This is his Friday. So since he works 5 days a week and all of that combined equals 22.5, then we can just say that the 4 days where he works X hours plus the Friday that he works 2.5 hours equals a total of 22.5 hours. So then you would move this to the other side, subtract it, and you get 4x equals 20. And when you divide 20 by 4, you get x equals 5. So the answer would be A. Alright, number 3. So number 3 says 9 bicycles and X bikes together have 32 wheels. How many bikes are there? So there's 9 bicycles and there's X bikes. Bicycles have 2 wheels, and so 2 bikes. So they all have 2 wheels. So if we say that there is 9 2-wheeled bicycles, right? So and there is a total of an X amount of bikes that have 2 wheels. Okay, let me explain this better. So, the 9 bicycles have 18. So you do the same thing as number 1. 9 bicycles have 18 wheels. And you want to find how many bikes there are. So what you need to do is you just need to put plus 2x equals 32 because each bike has 2 wheels. And since we're counting in terms of wheels, you would put 2 in front. So then what you do is you subtract, you get 2x equals 14, and you get x equals 7. So your answer would be A. Okay. Alright, let's go to the next page. Next page, number 5. So number 5, solve for x in the expression below and mark the correct answer. 1/2 x minus 1/3 equals 1. So this is fairly simple. First step you do always is try to isolate this x. So what you do is you move this 1/3 to this side, you add it, and you get 1/2 x equals 1 and 1/3. Now, I believe it's much easier to convert this to an improper fraction, which is like, let's say 33/11, right? This can simplify to 3, but an improper fraction version would be this. So, okay, so let's make this into an improper fraction. So, as you know, it's 3 times 1 plus 1, like this. And so it becomes 4/3. So 3 times 1 is 3, and you add 1 is 4. So it becomes 4/3. So you get 1/2x equals 4/3. Now, how do you cancel this 1/2 on this side? You cancel it by multiplying this entire equation by 2. Why? Because if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. So in order to cancel out and make this a 1, you'll have to multiply both sides by 2. So you get x equals 8 over 3. Now, all your answers here are in simplified and mixed form, where there is a whole number and a fraction next to each other. So what you do is just simply do 8 over 3. And how many times does 3 go into 8? It goes into 8 2 times, right? Because it's 6. So then you put a 2, and when you subtract 6 over 3 from 8 over 3, what do you get? You're left with 2 over 3. So you get 2 and 2 over 3, which would mean that your answer would be D. Okay, next page. Let's try number 8. So number 8, it says, solve for x in the expression below. Again, this is the same as the problem that we did before. Although it is slightly different, it is basically the same concept. So this time, to isolate the x, what you need to do first is not move this to the other side, because they're in the same parentheses, right? So when they're in the same parentheses, you can't do them, you can't just take this out and then like deal with this later. So what you have to do is you have to get rid of this half. So how do you do that? Like up there, you just multiply both sides by 2, so then you get x plus 0.2 equals 2, and then you can subtract each side by 0.2, and you get x equals 1.8. So your answer would be D. Alright, let's go to the last page. So the last page, it says find the product. So when you multiply with stuff with exponents, you add the exponents, correct? So let's say for number 3 example, so 4z, you distribute it to each and every one. So let's start off with 4z squared plus, or not plus, 4z squared times z squared. So this z squared has a 1 in front of it, right? Imaginary 1. So what is 4 times 1? 4 times 1 is 4. So what is z squared times z squared? That is z to the 4th. You just add the exponents. So that's how you do it for each and every single one of these multiplication things. Okay, so your answer, final answer, z squared times 4z to the 4th would be 4z to the 6th. I saw that wrong earlier. It's a 4, so you would add 2 plus 4 and get a 6. And then z squared times z cubed would be, you add the exponents and you get z to the 5th. And negative 11z squared, you would multiply by z squared and you get negative 11z to the 4th. And the same thing for the last one. For the last one, it's technically counted as you're just multiplying by z squared, so you just put a z squared next to it. When you multiply by a variable, you just add it to the number. So yeah. Let's try number 1. Number 1, it's a little easier than this number 3 down here, but your answer, as you know, for the first 2 you distribute. So what would you get? You would get 2x cubed. Second one, you get negative 3x squared. The last one, you get plus 9x. That's the answer for number 1. Alright, let's try. So I've only done like these different variables. It doesn't matter. They may look different, but the concept is all the same. They're all under the same category of variables. So you can, so for this one example, to this time it's negative a to the 5th, right? So when you multiply negative and negative, right, for the first one, what do you get? Negative and negative equals a positive. So when you multiply it, you do the same thing as before, except you just need to remember that there's a negative in front. So for this one, negative 9a squared times negative a to the 5th, you get 9a to the 7th. You add the exponents, you multiply the coefficients, and you remember that there is a negative there. So for this one, it's a positive, so then you get negative 5a to the 6th because there's a negative here. And for the last one, you also get negative 13a to the 5th. Alright guys, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.